Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a wonderful week at Bible Craft Club. And as a consequence of my adventures, I ended up with a bit of a red face from a little bit too much sun and a few insect bites on my arm. But what a wonderful week it was. And I just want to take a few moments now to see if you can remember what we learnt this week. On day one, we learnt about Adam and Eve. We learnt that in the beginning, God created everything and it was perfect. Nothing compared to the love that He had for us, His special creation. You see, He made us in His image, and He made us so much more special than anything else. But unfortunately, the perfection didn't last because of us. There was only one rule in the Garden of Eden, and that was that we didn't eat the tree in the middle of it. But Eve listened to that crafty snake, and she took the fruit and ate it. And then she gave it to Adam, and he ate it too. And from that moment on, God's creation unraveled. You see, we were made for a relationship with God, but that relationship was now broken. But God had a plan. One day, He would get His children back. He would come and rescue us. And He would battle the snake once and for all and get rid of sin and get rid of sadness and restore our relationship. Then, on day two, we went to the story of Noah. You see, the world had got so bad from the fall, God wanted to get rid of everything. But God loved us too much. And because of that love, He remembered Noah, because Noah was a righteous person. And He asked Noah and his family to build an ark, to gather all the animals and all the food that was needed. And then, once everybody was safely on board, the rains came down and the floods came up. And finally, after a whole year on the ark, they were able to leave. Once safely off the ark, Noah gave thanks to God for rescuing them, and God promised never to destroy the world again. And as a sign of that, God put a rainbow in the sky. But boys and girls, it wasn't long after that people became bad again. But God wasn't surprised. And that's why before the beginning of the world, God had another better plan. And we'll hear a bit about that later. Then we went to the story of Joseph. And just as things started to look good for Joseph in his life, everything seemed to keep going wrong. Do you remember that very special coat that Victoria had? Well, Joseph's dad gave him a wonderful coat with lots of colours in it too. But his brothers were very jealous and they wanted to kill him. But Joseph's younger brother Benjamin talked them into just putting them into a well instead. And then when Benjamin wasn't around, they sold him as a slave, and he went on to live in Egypt. And then, because of his willingness to serve and was a hard worker in Egypt, he became the head of Potiphar's house. And then he was put into prison for something he didn't do. But Joseph trusted God, and God was doing something good with everything that was going wrong in Joseph's life. Because of Joseph, many people were saved. And years later, God would send another rescuer who would leave home, be hated by people who would be considered his brothers, and they would want him dead. And just like Joseph, he would be sold for silver and be punished for things that he did not do. But before we go on to any of the rest of our stories, we're going to sing creation's song.